Move in silence, let success make the noise. Goal announcers spend time and energy defending their choice, justifying their timeline, and managing others' expectations. Result revealers spend time being congratulated, sharing wisdom, and fielding opportunities. Which conversation would you rather be having? Every goal you announce on social media, every plan you share at dinner parties, every dream you discuss with anyone who will listen. You think you're building support, but you're actually killing your chances of success. Stop right there. If you're constantly talking about what you're going to do instead of actually doing it, you're sabotaging yourself in ways you don't even realize. The most successful people you know don't announce their next move. They execute it and let you discover their results. They understand something that 99% of people never learn. Silence isn't just golden, it's strategic. It's the difference between dreamers who talk and winners who deliver. In this video, I'm going to show you why moving in silence isn't just a philosophy. It's a competitive advantage that separates those who achieve from those who just aspire. Because here's what nobody tells you. Every time you announce your intentions, you're literally reducing your motivation to achieve them. Your brain gets a hit of satisfaction from the social validation, tricking you into thinking you've already made progress. Meanwhile, the real winners are quietly building empires while you're collecting likes on your announcements. Today, that changes. You're going to learn the psychology behind silent execution, the strategic advantages of privacy, and how to transform your relationship with success forever. Why talking about your goals kills your motivation. You post about your new business idea and get 50 likes. You tell your friends about your fitness journey and they cheer you on. You announce your learning goals and everyone calls you inspiring. But here's the brutal truth. Those dopamine hits you're getting from talking about your goals are literally stealing your motivation to achieve them. NYU psychology professor Peter Gollwitzer conducted studies that proved when you talk about your goals, your brain experiences a premature sense of completeness. The satisfaction you get from social recognition tricks your mind into believing you've already made progress, reducing the psychological tension that actually drives you to take action. You're getting the reward without doing the work. Think about it. How many times have you announced a goal with genuine enthusiasm, received positive feedback, felt amazing about it, and then never followed through? You're not weak or lazy, you're experiencing a well-documented psychological phenomenon where social acknowledgement substitutes for actual achievement. The most driven individuals understand this instinctively. They know that real motivation comes from internal pressure, not external validation. While others are broadcasting their intentions and getting comfortable with the applause, silent executors are channeling that energy into actual work. They understand that the gap between where they are and where they want to be is what creates the fuel for massive action. When you stop announcing your goals, something powerful happens. You eliminate the social pressure valve that releases your motivation prematurely. That restless energy, that burning desire to prove yourself, instead of dissipating through conversations and social media posts, it gets concentrated into focused action. The next time you feel the urge to share your latest goal, pause. Ask yourself, do I want to talk about this or do I want to achieve it? Because research shows you're far more likely to do one or the other, but rarely both. The psychology of silent execution. How your brain gets tricked. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. It seeks the path of least resistance and looks for ways to conserve energy. When you announce your goals and receive social validation, your brain interprets this as mission accomplished. The applause, the encouragement, the "you're so inspiring" comments, they all trigger the same reward pathways that actual achievement would activate. This is why most people become professional goal setters instead of goal achievers. They get addicted to the planning phase, the sharing phase, the dreaming phase, because these activities provide immediate gratification without requiring the discomfort of actual execution. They mistake motion for progress, announcements for achievements. Silent executors hack this system by refusing to give their brain the easy reward. They understand that discomfort is the price of growth, and they're willing to sit with the tension of unexpressed ambition. This psychological pressure becomes their driving force. While others dissipate their energy through conversation, silent workers channel it into concentration. Consider the difference in mental state. The announcer seeks external validation and becomes dependent on others' opinions and encouragement. Their motivation fluctuates based on social feedback. The silent executor develops internal validation and becomes self-reliant. Their motivation is stable because it doesn't depend on anyone else's response. There's also the element of psychological ownership. When you keep your goals private, they remain completely yours. No one can diminish them with doubt, no one can steal your ideas, and no one can drain your enthusiasm with their own limitations and fears. Your vision stays pure and uncontaminated by other people's perspectives. The science is clear. Delayed gratification leads to greater long-term success. Silent execution is the ultimate delayed gratification strategy. Instead of getting immediate social rewards for your intentions, you delay all gratification until you have actual results to show. This builds tremendous psychological strength and makes your eventual success far more satisfying. Stop seeking validation for your vision. You need people to believe in your dreams before you'll believe in them yourself. You seek approval for your business idea, validation for your creative projects, encouragement for your ambitious goals. But here's what you're really doing. You're outsourcing your confidence to people who don't have your vision, your drive, or your skin in the game. When you need others to validate your vision, you give them power over your destiny. Their skepticism becomes your doubt. Their limitations become your ceiling. Their fear becomes your hesitation. You start modifying your dreams to fit their comfort zones, diluting your vision until it becomes acceptable to the masses. The strongest entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders in history were often initially ridiculed for their ideas. If they had sought validation before executing, we would have never benefited from their innovations. They understood that truly visionary ideas often sound crazy to people who can't see what you see. Your job isn't to make them understand, it's to prove them wrong through results. When you stop seeking external validation, you develop something far more valuable: self-trust. You learn to rely on your own judgment, your own instincts, your own assessment of what's possible. This isn't arrogance, it's self-reliance. And self-reliant people become unstoppable because their motivation doesn't depend on anyone else's permission or approval. Think about the most innovative companies and groundbreaking achievements of our time. How many of them started with universal approval? None. They started with individuals who trusted their vision enough to work on it in silence until the results spoke for themselves. They understood that validation comes after success, not before. There's a profound freedom in not needing anyone else's approval to pursue your goals. You become immune to criticism because you're not seeking praise. You become unaffected by doubt because your confidence is internally generated. You move with the quiet certainty of someone who knows exactly where they're going, even when others can't see the path. The next time you feel the urge to pitch your idea or seek encouragement for your goal, remember, the people whose opinion you're seeking probably aren't where you want to be. Why would you let their limitations influence your possibilities? Trust your vision, keep it protected, and let your results be the ultimate validation. The power of privacy. Your plans are not public property. Everything you share becomes public property. Your dreams, your strategies, your timeline, your methods, the moment you announce them, they no longer belong entirely to you. Others will have opinions about how you should execute, when you should start, why you might fail, and what you should do differently. Privacy is power because it gives you complete control over your narrative. You can pivot without explaining yourself. You can experiment without justification. You can fail and restart without public scrutiny. You can change direction without having to defend your decisions to people who don't understand your journey. When you keep your plans private, you eliminate the noise. No well-meaning friends telling you to be realistic. No family members projecting their fears onto your ambitions. No acquaintances offering unsolicited advice based on their own limitations. You create a sacred space where your vision can develop without interference. Privacy also protects you from energy vampires, people who unconsciously or consciously drain your enthusiasm. You know these people. They respond to your excitement with skepticism, your ambition with cautionary tales, your optimism with worst-case scenarios. They don't mean harm, but they're toxic to vision casting and goal achievement. There's also a strategic advantage to privacy. It prevents competition from knowing your moves. In business, in career advancement, in any competitive arena, information is power. When you broadcast your strategies, you give competitors the chance to copy, counter, or sabotage your efforts. Silent competitors maintain the element of surprise. Consider how much mental energy you waste defending your choices to people who don't matter. Every explanation, every justification, every attempt to help others understand your vision, that's energy you could be investing in actually executing your plans. Privacy preserves your mental resources for what matters most, the work itself. The most successful people create tight circles of trust. They might share their vision with a mentor, an accountability partner, or key team members who can actually help them succeed. But they don't announce their moves to the masses. They understand that loose lips don't just sink ships, they sink dreams. While they talk, you build. The silent competitor advantage. While your competition is busy announcing their next moves on LinkedIn, you're executing. While they're explaining their strategy to anyone who will listen, you're perfecting your execution. While they're seeking validation and advice, you're solving problems and making progress. This is the silent competitor advantage. Talkers reveal their hand. They telegraph their punches. They give competitors time to prepare, customers time to wait, and markets time to shift. Silent competitors strike when others are still discussing possibilities. They show up with solutions while others are still debating problems. There's a psychological warfare element to silent competition. Your competitors can't counter what they don't see coming. They can't copy what they don't understand. They can't prepare for what they don't know exists. While they're reacting to each other's announcements, you're operating in a different dimension entirely. Silent competitors also avoid the trap of premature celebration. While others are getting high on their own potential, silent workers stay hungry. They don't mistake planning sessions for progress. They don't confuse announcement posts with achievement. They remain focused on the gap between current reality and desired outcome. The competitive advantage compounds over time. While talkers burn energy on explanation and face time on defense, silent competitors invest all their resources in execution and improvement. Guess who develops superior capabilities? Guess who builds more momentum? Guess who arrives at the finish line first? Consider the most successful entrepreneurs you admire. How many of them announced every business idea on social media? How many of them spent years talking about their vision before building it? The pattern is clear. They identified opportunities, worked in silence, and emerged with results that spoke louder than any announcement could. This doesn't mean complete isolation. Strategic communication with the right people at the right time is essential. But there's a massive difference between purposeful private consultation and public broadcasting. One builds your competitive advantage, the other eliminates it. When you see competitors announcing their every move, don't join the conversation. Use their transparency as intelligence gathering. Learn from their mistakes. Identify the gaps they're revealing. Then execute in silence while they continue to talk. Let them wonder why you always seem to be one step ahead. Eliminate the need for cheerleaders. Self-motivation mastery. You're addicted to encouragement. You need people to tell you that your idea is good, your progress is impressive, your effort is admirable. But here's the problem. External motivation is unstable, unreliable, and ultimately unsustainable. What happens when the cheerleaders get bored? What happens when they have their own problems to focus on? What happens when your progress becomes so normal that it's no longer worth commenting on? Self-motivation is the only motivation you can count on. It's always available, always reliable, and it grows stronger with use. When you develop the ability to fuel your own fire, you become truly unstoppable. You don't need anyone else's approval to keep going. You don't need external validation to maintain momentum. Silent executors are masters of self-motivation. They develop internal reward systems that don't depend on social recognition. They celebrate small wins privately. They find satisfaction in the work itself, not just in others' acknowledgement of the work. They become their own biggest supporter because they know they're the only supporter they can always count on. This shift from external to internal validation is profound. Instead of working for applause, you work for accomplishment. Instead of performing for an audience, you focus on performance itself. Instead of being motivated by others' opinions, you're driven by your own standards and vision. The process of building self-motivation starts with learning to acknowledge your own progress. Keep private records of your achievements. Notice when you overcome obstacles. Celebrate the discipline it takes to work without recognition. Appreciate the strength it requires to persist without encouragement. Self-motivated people also develop a different relationship with failure. They don't need others to help them bounce back because they have internal resilience. They don't need external reassurance that setbacks are temporary because they trust their own ability to adapt and overcome. This makes them incredibly durable in the pursuit of long-term goals. When you eliminate the need for cheerleaders, something powerful happens. You become someone others want to cheer for. People are naturally drawn to individuals who don't need their approval, but who clearly have their life together. Self-sufficiency is magnetic because it's so rare. The irony is that the less you need external validation, the more you tend to receive it. But by then, it's just a bonus rather than a necessity. You appreciate encouragement without depending on it. You enjoy recognition without requiring it. You become truly free to pursue your goals regardless of what others think or say. The art of invisible progress. Building without broadcasting. Your greatest achievements happen in private. The hours of practice, the failed experiments, the small improvements, the gradual skill development, all of this invisible progress is what creates visible results. But most people only show the highlights, creating a false impression that success happens overnight. Invisible progress is where the real work gets done. It's the daily habits that compound over time. It's the private study sessions that build expertise. It's the quiet discipline that creates extraordinary capability. While others are documenting every small step for social media, you're making massive strides without documentation. There's something powerful about working without witnesses. It strips away any temptation to perform for others and forces you to focus on substance over style. You can't fake progress when no one is watching. You can't take shortcuts when you're only accountable to yourself. This creates authentic development rather than surface-level improvement. Invisible progress also allows for experimentation without judgment. You can try new approaches, make mistakes, and adjust course without having to explain or justify your methods to others. This freedom to iterate privately often leads to breakthrough innovations that wouldn't happen under public scrutiny. The compound effect of invisible progress is extraordinary. While others are starting and stopping based on social feedback, you're building momentum that becomes unstoppable. Each private session builds on the previous one. Each small improvement accumulates into major advancement. Each day of invisible work creates visible capability. Think about the most skilled professionals in any field. Their expertise wasn't built in public. It was developed through countless hours of practice, study, and refinement. The public only sees the polished performance, not the invisible preparation that made it possible. When you embrace invisible progress, you develop a different relationship with time. You stop expecting immediate recognition for your efforts and start trusting the process of gradual improvement. You understand that real achievement is built brick by brick, not announced post by post. The revelation comes when you finally reveal your results. People will be amazed at your sudden success, not realizing they're seeing the culmination of months or years of invisible progress. This is the ultimate satisfaction, being underestimated right up until the moment you prove everyone wrong. Turning silence into your secret weapon. Silence isn't passive, it's strategic. When you choose silence over announcement, you're not being secretive, you're being smart. You're turning the natural human tendency to overshare into a competitive advantage. While others are revealing their strategies, timeline, and capabilities, you're gathering intelligence and maintaining mystery. Strategic silence creates psychological power. People don't know what to expect from you. They can't predict your next move. They can't prepare for your competition because they don't know it's coming. This uncertainty often works in your favor because humans tend to overestimate unknown threats and underestimate visible ones. In negotiations, silence is leverage. While others feel compelled to fill every pause with words, revealing their position and weakening their stance, you remain composed and let them expose their hand. In leadership, silence is authority. Leaders who speak less but with more weight command more respect than those who constantly need to voice their opinions. Silence also protects you from premature judgment. Your ideas can develop without external criticism. Your methods can evolve without having to defend them. Your timeline can adjust without public explanation. This protection allows for better decision-making and more authentic development. The strategic use of silence extends beyond goal setting into all areas of life. In relationships, strategic silence prevents unnecessary conflicts and allows others to reveal their true character. In business, it prevents competitors from copying your innovations before you've had time to establish your advantage. Master the art of strategic silence, and you become someone others can't quite figure out. They know you're capable, but they're not sure of the extent of your abilities. They respect your composure, but they can't predict your next move. This mystery becomes magnetic and creates respect that announcement could never achieve. Silent operators also tend to be better listeners and observers. When you're not constantly preparing your next comment or announcement, you can actually absorb what's happening around you. This makes you more strategic, more informed, and more effective in all your interactions. The weapon of silence becomes more powerful the more consistently you use it. People learn that when you do speak, it matters. When you do announce something, it's significant. When you do reveal a project, it's already substantial. Your rare communications carry weight that constant chatter could never achieve. Let your results do the speaking. The reveal strategy. There comes a moment when silence transforms into the loudest statement possible, when you reveal your results. This is the reveal strategy, working in complete privacy until you have something undeniable to show. Not progress reports, not work-in-progress updates, complete, polished, successful results. The psychological impact of the reveal is extraordinary. While others have been tracking your every move, expecting gradual updates and incremental announcements, you appear with finished success. The surprise amplifies the impression of your capability. People don't just see what you've accomplished, they realize they completely underestimated you. The reveal strategy works because it violates expectations. In a world where everyone documents their journey, appearing with completed achievements creates cognitive dissonance. People have to reconcile their assumption about your capabilities with the evidence of your results. This often leads to elevated respect and recognition. Timing the reveal is crucial. Too early and you haven't maximized the impact. Too late and the opportunity might have passed. The optimal reveal moment is when your results are substantial enough to speak for themselves, and when the timing creates maximum strategic advantage. The reveal also eliminates the need for explanation. When you announce a goal, people want to know your strategy, timeline, and methods. When you reveal results, the only relevant question is, how did you do it? But by then, you've already proven your capability, and you can choose how much or how little to share about your process. Consider the difference in conversation dynamics. Goal announcers spend time and energy defending their choice, justifying their timeline, and managing others' expectations. Result revealers spend time being congratulated, sharing wisdom, and fielding opportunities. Which conversation would you rather be having? The reveal strategy also creates momentum for your next project. People who witness your silent execution followed by successful results become believers in your process. They stop questioning your methods and start watching for your next reveal. This builds a powerful reputation as someone who delivers rather than promises. Most importantly, the reveal strategy proves to yourself that you can succeed without external validation. Each successful silent project builds confidence in your ability to achieve independently. You develop an unshakable belief in your capacity that no amount of encouragement could create.
Master the art of strategic surprise. Shock them with success. The ultimate power move is strategic surprise, appearing successful in areas where others didn't even know you were working. While they were focused on your announced projects, you were quietly building something else entirely. While they thought they understood your capabilities, you were developing skills they didn't know existed. Strategic surprise works because it forces others to completely recalibrate their understanding of you. It's not just about individual success, it's about systematic underestimation followed by dramatic revelation. Each surprise increases your reputation as someone whose capabilities extend far beyond what's visible. The psychology of surprise and success is profound. When people expect gradual progress and witness sudden achievement, they attribute it to exceptional ability rather than consistent work. This works in your favor because exceptional ability is harder to replicate than consistent work. You become seen as naturally gifted rather than simply disciplined. Strategic surprise also creates multiple success streams. While others put all their energy into one announced project, you can develop several private initiatives simultaneously. If one doesn't work out, others can. But if multiple succeed, the compound surprise makes you appear extraordinarily capable. The element of surprise protects your projects from interference and competition. No one can sabotage what they don't know exists. No one can compete with what they can't see coming. No one can copy what they don't understand until it's already established. This approach requires emotional maturity because you must resist the immediate gratification of sharing your progress. You must find satisfaction in the work itself rather than in others' acknowledgement of the work. But this emotional discipline is exactly what separates achievers from announcers. Strategic surprise also positions you as someone who operates on a different level. While others are predictable in their announcements and execution, you become someone whose next move is unknown, but whose capability is proven. This mystery enhances your value in every relationship and opportunity. The cumulative effect of multiple strategic surprises is a reputation as someone who consistently delivers beyond expectations. People stop underestimating you and start watching you with anticipation. Your silence becomes as powerful as your speech, because people know that when you do reveal something, it will be significant.
So there you have it, the complete blueprint for moving in silence while letting success make all the noise. You've learned why talking about your goals literally kills your motivation, how your brain gets tricked into thinking social validation equals achievement, and why privacy isn't secrecy, it's strategy. You now understand that the most successful people don't announce their moves. They execute them and let their results create the conversation. When you implement this approach, everything changes. You stop being dependent on external validation and develop unshakable self-motivation. You eliminate energy-draining explanations and focus all your resources on execution. Most importantly, you join the ranks of strategic operators who surprise the world with their capability rather than bore it with their intentions. But here's the thing, knowledge without implementation is just entertainment. The real transformation happens when you take these concepts and apply them starting today. Choose one goal you've been talking about and commit to pursuing it in complete silence for the next 90 days. No social media posts, no casual conversations about your progress, no seeking advice from people who can't help you execute. Just pure, focused work. If this approach resonates with you, show your support by hitting that like button. It tells me you're ready to join the ranks of silent executors rather than loud announcers. And I'm curious to see how this plays out for you. So drop a comment below with just one word describing your biggest goal. No explanation, no context, just the goal. Let's practice strategic communication right here. This is exactly the kind of strategic mindset we develop here at Limitless Mindflow. If you're serious about mastering the psychology of success and want more frameworks for achieving without announcing, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that notification bell too, because the strategies I share could be the difference between talking about success and actually achieving it. And speaking of silent execution, I've got another powerful video coming up that shows you how to build unstoppable momentum while everyone else is still planning. It's appearing on your screen right now, and it's going to teach you how to turn your quiet work into loud results. Remember, the world is full of people who talk about what they're going to do, but it desperately needs more people who simply do it and let their success speak for itself. The question is, which type of person will you choose to be? Stop talking about the future you're going to create and start building it in silence. Your results will make all the noise you need.